you'll tell me
The 15th.
The 15th.
The 15th. We, as you know, last week we really kind of ran out of time. We were discussing the issue about the Black Health Coalition, and so we're going to continue that in today's. But before I do, let me just introduce my co-host, Deborah Fields.
Good morning, audience.
Kurt Harris.
Good morning, Polly.
Okay, and of course, we have our special guest is Dr. Pat McManus, and we want to just get right into that whole situation about the funding, the not refunding or the funding cut of the Black Health Coalition, and the rippling effects and the ramifications of not having agencies like the Black Health Coalition in our community, and what is going to happen in our community as a result of this is just awful. I mean, it's just really, and it's unbelievable that something like this would happen. It's almost like they just snatched the rug from under you without even any warnings. I mean, just so Dr. Pat would just kind of get us started and tell us what's going on.
Well, there's been since we were here last Monday morning, right? Like now.
Right.
By the end of the day Monday, that's when we found out that our Navigator grant that we had, that also didn't get refunded.
Really?
Well, because UW-Madison, covering kids and families, UW-Madison applied, and they were given the funding for all of southeastern Wisconsin, including our funding. And what's unbelievable about it is because our funding came through the National Healthy Start Association last year because of the mix-up and nobody got funded in the Milwaukee area. So they looked to see wherever an entity had funded, and so we had applied with them as well. So they got two, West Virginia and Milwaukee with us. Now, we must have done good because the National Start Association not only kept West Virginia, but they got 4 other states to go into. We were the only ones that were dropped. And we were dropped, my assumption is because this other entity applied. I don't even know anymore. I mean, I just want to tell you guys that because
you didn't apply, or
we applied
you already.
We applied through the association that we already funded through. The issue would be we could have applied separately, but our track record was with this group.
Yeah.
So it seemed to make sense to go with the track record, right?
Right.
Well, I guess for most folks that might make sense, but it didn't make sense for us because you had folks who, like I said, they applied and they spoke they clearly said that this group in Wisconsin, in Madison, they applied for another navigator position. We had 2 navigator positions, actually 3, one through the county, but that wasn't going to be funded anyway after this year. But they were asking for another one and made it very clear, but I guess they decided that that's all they needed because the funding they get, I talked to, ended up this weekend at the same conference with the person who heads covering kids and families who got the money. And they said that they were funded for the one position for Milwaukee, but no others. So, I mean, so Shirley Ellis from Moore's office is looking at that too, but this doesn't have the same connotations as the first one did because they clearly want to fund entities they consider in the area, and I guess they don't consider that. They consider it, that's a direct subcontract with subcontract with us. So, but again, we didn't think we weren't going to because we asked for a no-cost extension, and they extended us. Some places they didn't extend, so it didn't make any sense to us then if they told other folks stop August 14th. They gave us an extension.
To the end of the year?
Till November 15th.
November 15th.
Right, but they didn't give us any money. It was a no-cost extension because we expected to be funded by then, you see. So, I mean, I tell you, this is, if I did, I tell you, my faith is paramount. It's needed in times like this because otherwise you'd just be going crazy with stuff happening the way it is. But the other one, we haven't heard, we've heard some things. There's enough being raised not only for us, but from other cities and states where the congressional people have gotten together. Baltimore didn't get funded, so Elijah Cummings is in Baltimore. And so he didn't find out right away. I don't know why they didn't call him and tell him, but him and like I said, with our folks, Whitney Moore's staff, Tammy Baldwin's staff, they've been asking, like, I wrote out a whole sequence of events of how it happened, what was supposed to happen. So, but what they're doing, and I want to just a minute want to say to people, because they're saying it was something as simple as we didn't score high enough. Okay. So I want to be able to speak to that when we get a chance, because you know, that gives people the impression that we were not qualified.
Yeah, it
definitely. And I need to speak to that.
Well, we have a break coming up, and
okay.
So after the break, we'll come back. You're listening to the Polly Williams Show, WNOV 860, The Voice.